Reset has been the BL that has shooketh me to my core the most. A lot of people are talking about revenge love right now, and I would argue that's probably the most popular BL that's airing right now. If I'm just going by social media hype and just the metrics that it's been crossing, maybe the next Prince, but Reset is like my girl right now, and I love revenge love. But Reset airing on iQIYI has been giving us some of the best romance that I have seen in a while in BL. So I wanted to do this podcast as a compilation of some of the best kisses, some of the most romantic scenes, because this show is serving on levels that you can't even begin to fathom. That's one hell of an intro, eh? Let's go. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and so much more, including BLs. BLs have been reigning supreme in my life a lot lately. I find that if I am watching something in the small pockets of time that I do have, typically a BL is at the forefront. As I said in my opening, I have been really immersed in revenge love, which has been a massive BL that has essentially taken over all of social media to the point where there's quite a bit of controversies attached to it right now. I won't get into it because that's not what this video is about. But Reset has been my girl as far as BLs that have currently aired right now that are still ongoing. I have mentioned some if you've watched some of my shorts that I've started to include on the YouTube side of things. But I'm all about Reset. This show, even though it is so melodramatic, there is some crazy scene-chewing type acting in this show. You know, our main character, he crashes out like every 2 seconds, but it's totally understandable if you understand the backstory of it. I'll be going heavily into spoilers, so if you're someone that hasn't even gotten into Reset yet and you want to watch, please watch it. Come back to me when you're done. I think it's worth the investment in it, especially because we're not done yet. There's still 4 episodes, I believe, that are left, and I think things are going to get really heated and really tangled. So right now is a really good time to catch up if you haven't. Getting into the most romantic moments and the best kisses, in my opinion, I'm going to start off with episode 2. Episode 2, I think, really started to set the stage as far as the chemistry. I absolutely love that Tada, one of the lead characters in the show, who has basically been Armen, our main lead, played by Pond, has been the biggest fan and has been in the back burner, in the shadows, wanting Armen's success more than anything else. At that point in episode 2, I didn't really understand the devotion and why he was so determined to do everything humanly possible for Armen and for his career success, but we do later on find out why, and it clicked everything into place for me. But episode 2, stopping an incredibly important business meeting, was one of those moments that really stood out to me, and doing everything humanly possible to get Armen to this key audition that would basically set him up for a career-defining role, as Armen is dealing with all these snakes in the grass, and he's been an extra, and he's starting just to kind of bubble under the surface as an actor that can break out, but he has so many people against him, and you as a viewer are wondering, well, what the hell is up? Like, why do they hate him so much? But sometimes people don't need much. They just need to be jealous of you and to see the light within and see that you have so much potential, and that's enough to want to destroy you. You know, people be crazy. So I really love this moment and just how much it was important and how much Tada prioritized Armen's success and getting him by all means necessary, and his cute as assistant also helping out in this matter. Man, that assistant, we're gonna have to do a video or something breaking down that assistant. He fine. Anyway, let me not get sidetracked. I'd also say that one of the other key romantic moments in episode 2 was actually the poolside, the first poolside romp between the two characters. that poolside scene, not even just the way Armen is completely comfortable in his body because he is a 40 plus man that is now transported back or transmitigated into his 21-year-old self, and he's been there, done that, and to see Tada almost visibly swallow back his tongue is hilarious to me. Like, Tada was so nervous, and he's like, and that gulp, loved it down so much. Those poolside moments are some of the top moments in the show. That's going to be like a recurring theme. The final moment that I want to touch upon in episode 2 was the dinner scene. As cringy as some may find it, I thought it was a good stepping stone as to show Tada's devotion to him. And I just think Peter Pan's smile and just like the physical cues of how attuned he is into the character of Armen. Like, I think Pond and Peter Pan have really great interplay with one another, and they do a really great job of showing the building blocks of this relationship and how it builds out further and how the chemistry amplifies with every episode. So episode 2 really was a good starting point. Episode 1 was its own chaotic mess. That was essentially setting up the story, so I'm kind of skipping over that. Going into episode 3, some of my favorite moments. I think, as far as down badism, I don't think anyone's beating Tada, and he really starts to let this freak flag kind of shine through in episode 3. The entire monologue piece of I want to be yours, I want to be the one that is part of your life forever, now and forever, is some of the most romantic dialogue. And before the nuanced Nellies come in, before those that want to, rain down on my parade and talk about, Tada's actually hella weird and he's giving stalker. I understand this. You have to understand, with a lot of BLs, there is certain suspension of disbelief that you have to be able to tap into to even consume the material. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to critique. I do critique even stuff that I enjoy. But for some BLs, you kind of go in with the basis of, okay, this is the kind of story that they're telling. You kind of go along with it. This is a soap opera. This is a licorne. You kind of have to make allowances for that. And I'm aware that a lot of Tada's behavior in this show, if this was in any way, shape, or form able to be replicated in real life, would ring as crazy. But in the context of the show, as someone that enjoys the show, I think this line was probably one of the most romantic, and it takes my breath away. Part of the romantic part of it, what I find the most touching of it is that the language he specifically used in that sentence is, I want to be part of your life. I want to have importance in your life now as you're building this career to even bigger and more unimaginable points than you had in your previous life and forever. That level of devotion, to say that without any pretentiousness, just being thoroughly earnest, and to not have language that denotes ownership versus saying something like, I want you to be mine. I want to own you. I want to possess you. That's how much I am so entangled in who you are. I need you. I need to own you like a possession. Instead, flipping that and saying, I want to be a part of your life. I want to be yours. I'm offering myself and my resources, everything that I got within me for you, because I love you that much and I just want to be part of your journey, to me is so much more romantic. And to me, I knew that I was truly locked in for the show once he made that declaration to Armen. So I just had to get that out. It sounds so overdramatic, but it is that damn serious. I'm telling you, I love the show. I love how earnestly overdramatic it is. There's going to be some people that don't like the dramatic pauses and the music, and some of it can come off really cheesy, but I'm someone that grew up on soap operas, so I kind of get that there's different acting styles and there's different ways of phrasing and how actors approach it versus just your regular run-of-the-mill drama. So this type of melodrama I love, but I genuinely thought that was super romantic. So that's for episode 3. Episode 4, and hashtag I want to kiss you. Listen, okay, just between you and me, I really don't like it when shows or books, especially in books, mention TikTok. Yes, I use TikTok as a social media platform. I understand the popularity of it, even with the constant, will it be around or will it not be around in the next upcoming months because political shenanigans, whatever. But I hate the mention of it in shows. Like, I immediately get the cringe. As someone that wholeheartedly embraces that she's a cringy person and that I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, I totally embrace that. I embrace the cringe. If you're going to be a content creator in general, and I know that even saying that sounds cringy, but if you're going to make shit for the internet in any capacity, you have to accept the level of cringe. So yeah, I shouldn't be judging things on level of cringe or embarrassment, but I get instantly irked when I hear TikTok or TikTok phrases in media. And this moment, I could see why a lot of people were like, oh, for love of God. We're getting annoyed, but I loved hashtag I want to kiss you, hashtag Armen. I love that moment. And this kiss was so romantic. Anytime you get a BL pairing, actually, anytime you get any pairing, whether it's a straight pairing or BL pairing or GL pairing, anytime there is something that deals with a rooftop and beautiful lighting, the kiss is going to eat down. And I thought this kiss in Ep 4 was super romantic. I loved it. I had a really great time. And I just think I embraced the wine and the cheese of that moment. I thought it was great. I adored it. I thought it was cute. Yes, I do hate mentions of TikTok in shows, in movies, in books, especially in books, but that's a whole other topic. But man, I really, really dislike it. But it worked for me in that context because it led up to one of the sweetest kisses. And I think what this show does really well is it does do romance really nicely. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are coming into BL type shows because they want the hotness, they want the provocativeness, they want the NC, and they want the NC loud and in your face. I understand that this genre is built on fantasy and there's those that take it to the next level. I'm not here to judge, but I do know that that is in the mind of these actors and these directors and how they approach, how they present to you the romance in specifically these type of shows. But I think Reset does a really great balance of bringing genuine romantic, soul-searing tension and chemistry and getting the audience to truly buy in. The actors' performances also help to really sell it, and it can also be really hot and steamy and in your face as well. I think they do a really fine, intricate dance of not going overboard to the point where you think it's actually tasteless and tacky and it's just something that was slapped in the show for titillation's sake. I think it's a very hard line to balance correctly when you're doing specifically BL centered media, and I think Reset is one of the few that really straddles that line well. And that perfectly leads me into episode 5. That pool scene, the purple lit kiss and kisses, some of the hottest romantic tension, romantic manifestation of love, physicality, all of that, it's like next level. I've seen some critiques of it. Some people were wondering like the actual blocking of it and the actual physicality of it. Some were like, ooh, it kind of looked weird. To me, all I saw was just pure unbridled passion. Like, Tada looked like he wanted to melt into the pool. The open mouth kisses just sold me the absolute urgency of the romance. Everything about it was breathtaking. The music went crazy. the tension racketed up so much, so much. Everything about it, pitch perfect. I'm getting like dry mouth right now. Like I can barely get the words out, like how good Ep 5 was, and especially because of earlier in the Ep, all the drama, all the nastiness leading up to that, and what Armen said to Tada, that you're just someone new in this life, someone that I don't even want, which he didn't mean. He was just angry. He's been spiraling out. I have a lot of empathy for Armen, but it wasn't a great moment for him, and I know he regretted it instantly when he said it, but that hurt Tada, like, deeply. So going from that to that kiss, phenomenal. Episode 6. I don't even know where to begin. Every kiss, literally every kiss that happened within episode 6 is a favorite of mine. Just drop dead gorgeous. The sunscreen, the application of the sunscreen, which should be extraordinarily cheesy, and this is not the first time a BL has done this, where one character applies sunscreen and it's supposed to be super seductive. There is a lot of times where I've seen in other shows where I'm like actually cringing. I'm like visibly uncomfortable. Like, can we just move on? This, whatever. Okay. Yeah, it's sexy. Okay. Like, just let's go on. But that application, I buy it. And it's purely actor performance. Like, these two are really, really good at selling romance. Like, top tier. Top tier. Armen's entire presence throughout the entirety of episode 6. Pond had mentioned, I believe in an interview, or it might have been like a social media, like a quick blast of something, where he named episode 6 as probably one of the most romantic. This is absolutely the honeymoon period, because I assume that we're going to be entering the Dark Night of the Soul, the climax of the show, and I assume that there is going to be some twist involved. I have not read the source material, the novel that this apparently is based off of, but I've heard some theories bounce around, and I think episode 6 is the calm before the storm. But I do agree with Pond. This was by far the most romantic, and I think episode 6 solidified to me why this is like right up there as far as BLs for me right now, and it's hard to beat. Cheesiness, over the top melodramaticness aside, I really adored episode 6, and it was the episode that went the fastest for me. And there's something about the Armen's entire glow throughout the entire episode. Like, obviously Pond is an attractive actor. Obviously he's very good looking, but there was something very different in how he looked in this episode. Like, I don't think I've ever seen this actor look as beautiful as he did in this particular episode. Like, just breathtaking in good looks. And I think absolutely is because Pond is very good at what he does, and he was able to sell like the afterglow of everything kind of settling into place. He just looked so full of joy. Like, he just looked so content in the romance of it all. It was just on another level. The way Tada and Armen look at each other, it's honestly, it gives off, they can see millions of light years of galaxies in each other's eyes as well. But I think one of my favorite things, other than just the physical manifestation of their love, was finally getting the backstory of Tada and why he has this level of devotion to Armen. And I love the parallels of it, of Armen at one point choosing almost to unalive himself and end everything because he was so weighed down by just everything that happened, and Tada metaphorically walking him off the ledge. You know, Tada was watching in a distance and saw that he was ready to jump off that bridge, and was able to talk him down and give him new lease on life and give him a second chance in life, only to find out in episode 6 that Armen did the same for him when he was much younger. The backstory of Tada's grief and depression due to the loss of his father, just how nasty his stepmother and stepbrother are, him basically being left out of his inheritance and left with little to no resources, being sent abroad, and just feeling like life wasn't really worth living anymore. And for this kid to come out of nowhere and to be kind to him and express compassion and empathy, share a simple meal of noodles together, of ramen, and for that to mean so much to Tada that he basically got a second chance in life and said, you know what, I'm going to do everything that I need to get my power back. I'm going to get my inheritance back. I'm going to get my life back. I'm going to build self-confidence. I'm going to get in tip-top physical shape. I'm going to sharpen and fine-tune my mind. I'm going to become the best businessman. I'm going to become the CEO of this major entertainment conglomerate. And I'm going to get what is owed to me, and I'm not going to allow my family to trample down on me any further. And that Armen was a big piece to that. Makes so much more sense as to why Tada had this level of devotion, because that was a question that was always circling back in my mind. As much as I could like chalk it up kind of jokingly to, you know, Pond is drop dead gorgeous, and obviously Armen looks exactly identical to Pond the actor, so of course someone's going to be like completely like head over heels in love with him. But I was like, there has to be more than just the looks, and he was pretty devoted to him early on, even before his career really took off as an actor in the first life and in the second life. And I said, what could it possibly be that could transcend life and death to make this one person so solely dedicated? Like, I wasn't really getting it. And once episode 6 revealed all that and gave actual depth to the relationship, that was when I was like, oh man, this show is fantastic. I'm fully locked in now, because that totally and completely makes sense. It makes sense in its entirety, and I love it. And then, yeah, I was completely sold in. And the fact that they saved each other's lives, I thought even what was more interesting was that quick flash that we got where it looked like Tada was actually present that fatal night where Armen first passed away because of the fight that broke out between him, the best friend, and the ex-lover. And I'm kind of hoping the show goes in terms of that Tada was from the future and also got transported back into past, but just didn't come back with the same memories that Tada did, because that Armen did, because Armen remembers everything from his previous life, everything, and happily brings it up like every 2 seconds in the show, sometimes irritatingly so, where he should keep it quiet. But I have a lot of empathy for Armen, so I don't try to beat up on him too much. But Tada clearly came with the feelings, so he clearly still feels, and he has his intuition when he knows Armen's in danger. And I thought it was so interesting they gave us that flash, because I'm wondering what they're going to do with it. There's definitely theories, but that would be another video. Anyways, I've been talking for a really, really long time, and my throat's like closing up. So let me know your thoughts if you made it to the end of this rambly podcast. What were your favorite moments from Reset? Are you watching Reset? Are you enjoying it? I'm having a time. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a fantastic show. Is it perfect? No, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I'm enjoying it. And considering the amount of BLs that have come out since the summer has been, it's one of the few that have stood out to me. So let me know your thoughts if you're watching the YouTube version of this podcast in the comment section below. If you're listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, let me know and interact with those platforms as well. I really do appreciate it. And until the next one,